I live in a place where plastic bags are banned, which maybe isn't such a big deal, except that half the time I go to the checkout at the grocery store, I've left my reusable bags at home. This is a plastic bag. Melt a plastic bag down and you get a plastic ball about the size of a blueberry. And this is a family's weekly groceries. All the plastic packaging, yogurt containers, juice jug, meat wrappers, 1 week of plastic. So why is this the front line of the war on plastic? Literally every person gave me the exact same answer.
It's a good place to start.
But no one could explain exactly why that is. And so after the 100th awkward walk back from the grocery store, I did a little digging. And what I found was that I was duped. Corporations got me. And they probably got you too. Okay, so there's this big ball of weekly plastic waste. 2 kilograms, 4.5 pounds, all the plastic from a family's weekly grocery run. And then there's the thing we focus on, the 4 bags that you carry the groceries home in, 16 grams, half an ounce. And then there's this defense people give, this defense that everyone gave me, that it's a good place to start. Seriously, every single person I asked said exactly that. And the thing I discovered is that line right there, that's the conspiracy. You have no idea how far up this thing goes. It didn't start with plastic bags. In the early 1990s, there was another wave of outrage about plastic.
Plastic things are so incredibly dangerous to birds, animals, and fish.
Just like today, people were calling for taxes on packaging, trying to get rid of plastic products, taking aim at manufacturers. And for a moment, it looked like something might actually happen. But then the industry, brands, manufacturers, companies, got lucky. There was this small movement growing. The idea that plastic could be processed and used again.
Reusable base products.
For manufacturers who were under fire for all the plastic they were pushing out, this was a huge gift.
Hell yes.
Something that could relieve all this pressure about their packaging without changing a single thing about their products. It was perfect. Now their products wouldn't be garbage, they'd be recycling. Yeah! But there was a big problem. Environmentalists, scientists, didn't see recycling as a solution to plastic waste at all. In fact, it was kind of a joke. Of all the plastic being thrown away, only 9% of it could actually be recycled. And even if it was, none of that 9% could be recycled a second time, even under perfect conditions. That's just a 9% slowdown in this tsunami of plastic waste. But for companies in the 90s, none of that matters. They have this opportunity to send the perfect message. Plastic isn't waste.
If the public thinks recycling is working, then they're not going to be concerned about the environment.
It isn't true, but with a push from big brands and oil companies, that idea gets broadcast everywhere.
Recycling protects the environment.
Plastic can be recycled into all kinds of useful things. Have you ever thought about recycling?
Recycle.
And once it starts to catch on, the small daily ritual of sorting plastics into bins
Removed and the bottles rinsed out.
helps the whole thing stick. The more people do it, the more their brain convinces them it matters. So recycling goes from being a good place to start to being accepted as an actual solution, an ending. And despite almost none of that plastic ever being recycled, there's still, to this day, no single environmental act more universally agreed upon than recycling. And so for corporations, this is a massive win. The concerns around plastic quieted down. But then, starting in the mid-2010s, they're back, baby.
We know plastics are terrible for the environment.
Our main story tonight is plastic. Plastic keeps on being a problem.
And now bans on plastic bags are here to do the exact same thing.
Why use plastic bags when you know the world can't take it?
The problem is the same. The amount that this solution actually fixes anything is actually even less. It even gives people a new little action they can do to make the whole thing stick. And after running back home to get your reusable bags or waddling back with your groceries in your arms, it starts to feel like it matters. Without knowing it, you start to play up its importance. and downplay the 99.2% of your big ball of plastic waste. But this chapter of this big plastic conspiracy is also very different. And to understand how, we need to talk about who's behind it. Compared to recycling, this modern plastic bag conspiracy is an exclusive club. It's not just corporations. It's only the most recognizable brands in the world. The ones whose lifeblood is packaging.
Tide Oxymax Power Pod.
Procter & Gamble launched Tide in the 1940s.
All set.
Wonderful.
Right as washing machines are becoming part of the home.
Box of Tide inside.
The field was pretty empty. People were still figuring out how to make good detergent. And when Tide joined the market, its formula was just the best one. And so it quickly started selling way more than its competitors.
It's gotta be Tide.
But by the 1980s, everything had changed. Detergent was settled science.
The science of laundry.
Every brand used roughly the same 6 ingredients. Tide's formula wasn't special anymore, and yet it stayed on top. It charges 50% more than its competitors and still captures most of all the dollars spent on detergent. And the secret to how is packaging.
It's got to be Tide.
Packaging is what turns their past success
When you buy Tide. Gotta be Tide.
into sales. When you're standing in front of that shelf, this whole brand game
Switch to this detergent. Seems like a pretty good deal.
comes down to packaging.
If you want the real deal, you should get Tide.
The formula has evolved with the industry, but relative to other competitors on the shelf, it hasn't really changed. What has changed is branding. New look, logo update, red or orange, a lighter orange, a new bottle, a new bottle, a new bottle, a new bottle. Here's what matters. Tide isn't a detergent company. It's a brand. And like every brand, that makes it a packaging company. And for a while, with everyone happily recycling, feeling like that's a solution, all this branded plastic packaging was safe.
Heinz ketchup. It's really nice.
But then, somewhere around the mid-2010s, something started to happen that changed everything. A few of these refill grocery stores start to appear. They'd existed in Europe for a few decades, but now they were starting to pop up in North America. The idea is simple. When you run out of detergent, you bring your glass detergent bottle back. You refill it with your favorite detergent from a row of detergent dispensers, and then you pay at the front for that volume of detergent. No new plastic jug, just detergent. And this model works for almost everything. Detergent, baking soda, pasta, sour cream. Brands look at this and they see a massive thread. In this model, Tide's orange bottle isn't needed. Their detergent becomes just one tap in a row of identical detergents. The only advantage that Tide has over every other detergent on the shelf,
Brand recognition,
could disappear. And suddenly, every single one of the biggest, most recognizable brands on the planet have one goal: defend packaging. Okay, this is the part that can sound most tinfoil hat conspiracy-ish, so bear with me. Across North America, almost every state and province has fought over 2 categories of laws. Laws aimed at reducing plastic bags, and laws aimed at reducing all the rest of this plastic packaging. 2 years ago, a New York State Senator named Pete Harckham proposed a bill that would tax plastic packaging, charge companies proportionally based on how much plastic packaging a company used. And it's a popular bill. Right away, 3/4 of New Yorkers support it. But then something weird happens. Quietly, the bill starts to die. All right, so who's the killer? First, it gets pushed back from the American Chemistry Council. I'll take it. Plastic's a chemical product. Expected, sure. But then comes this other big strike against the bill. A big campaign pushing the idea that shelves would go empty, that this bill was bad for business. And behind that campaign, brands. L'Oreal, Heinz, and even our very own makers of Tide detergent, Procter & Gamble.
In my 7 years here, I have never seen anything like it. This is Washington-style money spent to oppose this bill. And
Political support evaporates. The bill dies. But you know what faces almost no corporate pushback?
Plastic bag ban takes effect in New York today,
generating frustration from customers and store owners.
Not all residents were happy about the ban taking effect.
Plastic bags aren't quiet. They get media space.
What's good for seagulls is bad for non-seagulls.
They get people thinking about them every time they shop.
I think it's a good thing. I think it's just so I know the next time when I come to grocery shop, I probably won't have them in the car. So.
And they keep everyone focused on the one part of this giant plastic ball that's a hassle for consumers and means nothing for brands.
Through the American Chemistry Council. And if you have a reusable bag, be sure to bring it along with you. We've got just this one planet. We're all in this together to keep it clean.
And that gets us to the heart of this conspiracy. Allowing bag bans to pass while real plastic bans fail has done exactly what big brands want. It sent the message that banning plastic is about sacrifice. And if all this hassle has gone into eliminating just 1% of plastic, that the remaining 99% must mean 99 times more hassle. In other words, bans on plastic bags weren't chosen because they were a good place to start. They were chosen to be the end, the most inconvenient starting slice to keep people away from the remaining 99%. The 99% that threatens all these big brands. We've started here to keep you from noticing that the other 99%, it's kind of awesome. There are a lot of reasons, but believe it or not, I'm not much of an environmentalist, so I want to focus on just 3. First, healthier food. There are mixed findings about exactly how much microplastic is in our body. A credit card, a bottle cap, however much it is, it's too much. Some of it comes from the fish we eat who swim among our plastic. Some of it comes from the containers themselves. And while banning plastic bags barely moves us towards a healthier future here at all, eliminating the rest of this big ball of plastic would. Second, cheaper stuff. Packaging accounts for 10% of the cost of everything you buy in your average grocery run, $1,000 a year. A switch to a refill store model, or any system that's lighter on packaging, is a shift towards food that is cheaper, not more expensive. Third, better freaking stuff. Right now, entire industries compete on branding, on packaging. New packages, same stuff. No need to compete on quality. Branding is what sets you apart.
New look, same great taste.
But in a world without packaging, that stops. In a row of identical detergents, manufacturers would be forced to compete by making actually better stuff. Okay, so I want you to clock how crazy this is. Microplastics and grocery prices, those are 2 big issues right now. And both point straight at packaging. Yet somehow, with all of this sitting on the other side of door number 2, we're no closer to getting there. Instead, we're trudging through the one tiny slice that makes getting rid of plastic seem like a bummer. Look, I'm not about to tell you that the secret to all of this is some new law that bans plastic packaging. Those laws don't tend to pass. Even if they did, that's not how I tend to think about things. Last month, I switched to these little detergent sheets. Cardboard packaging, no plastic jug. Does it make a big dent? No, but it's convenient and it signals to companies that people will actually buy the non-plastic stuff. Because here's the thing I finally understood. Among all this failed plastic legislation, plastic bag bans succeeded not because they were a good start, but because they were the one part of this big plastic ball that could make everyone feel like demanding less plastic means demanding more hassle. It worked on me for years, but now I know what's in this big plastic cantaloupe, what the future without it could look like. And I can't unknow it.